Hi Ramily! This video guide, crafted by the Writing and Communication Center at Winston-Salem State University, reviews Chicago Manual of Style 18th edition format and guidelines. In this guide, we'll cover how to format essays using Chicago Manual of Style, including the cover page, section headings, footnotes, and bibliography. Chicago Manual of Style is the most commonly used format in history, art, and political science. To cover the basics, Chicago Style regulates footnotes, document formatting, and bibliography. Chicago Style documents are formatted with the following elements: cover page, 12-point font, Times New Roman, double-spaced, page numbers in the top right, 1-inch margins on all sides, and a bibliography. Chicago Style often includes a cover page. However, some instructors may not require it. Make sure to check with your instructor and reference your assignment guidelines. If your instructor requires a cover page, you will want to follow these guidelines. You don't have to include a page number on the cover page, though the rest of your essay will need a page number in the top right header. The title should be bolded and centered a third of the way down the page. 2/3 down from the title, include your name, class information, professor's name, and the due date. Chicago Manual of Style uses headings to separate sections in an essay. These headings may not be necessary, especially for shorter essays. Always check with your instructor about their preferences. Headings are organized into 5 levels. Each essay and subject within the essay should start as a level 1 heading, with subheadings for that subject continuing on in numerical order of the heading levels. Level 1 headings should be centered, bold or italics, not both, with title case capitalization. Level 2 headings should be centered, regular type, neither bold nor italics, with title case capitalization. Level 3 headings should be flush left, bold or italic, and title case capitalization. Level 4 headings should be flush left, neither bold nor italics, and sentence case capitalization. Level 5 headings should be on the same line as the first sentence of the new paragraph, bold or italics, with sentence style capitalization, and ending with a period. The examples on this page show the progression of headings from level 1 to level 5, starting with the top as a level 1 heading. In setting up a document for Chicago Style, first you'll want to adjust the font and spacing settings in Word. To change the font, in the Home tab, click on the font box and change it to Times New Roman. For the font size, next to the font type, change the number to 12. To adjust the spacing, click the box next to the paragraph section in the Home tab. Change the number next to after to 0 and the line spacing to double. Finally, to insert the page number, click on the Insert tab, click on Page Number, hover over Top of Page, and select Plain Number 3. This will ensure each page throughout the document has consecutive page numbers. On the first page of the document is a cover page. This page, like the rest of the document, is double-spaced. 1/3 of the way down this page, type the title of your essay, centered, then press Enter until you are 2/3 of the way down the page and put your full name, press Enter, and put the rest of the information as required by your course, which typically includes the instructor's name, course and section number, and the due date, separating each by moving to the next line of the document. On the following line, click the Insert tab and click on Page Break. On the new page, indent and begin writing your essay. Each new paragraph should be indented. Now that you know how to set up your document, we can move on to footnotes. In Chicago Manual of Style, in-text citations appear as footnotes. Unlike other format styles, footnotes are not inside parentheticals. Instead, footnotes are represented by a number as a superscript at the end of a sentence, which corresponds to the number on the bottom of the page. Standard format of footnotes when quoting or paraphrasing is author's first name, last name, title in italics and in title case, open parentheses, publisher, comma, publication date, close parenthesis, comma, page number, and DOI or URL for digital sources. Following that format, we can see in the example the author's first and last name, title of the book, publisher and date of publication, and, finally, the page number. Sometimes a source will have more than one author. There may be a difference between how the authors are listed in the footnotes as opposed to the bibliography. For 2 authors, you will write "and" between the 2 authors. Again, you list them as they appear on the source and not alphabetically. If you have 3 or more authors, include the first and last name of the author that first appears, then follow with et al. Period before moving on to the title. If no author is given, use a shortened version of the title or the organization, depending on the type of source, for the footnote. Title of article, publisher, date of publication, last modified date, URL. If the source does not have a clear publication or modified date, you can substitute it with your access date. For instance, you could write, accessed September 28, 2023. For previously referenced sources, you should use an abbreviated version of the source using the author's last name, article or book title, and the page number. Here is an example of footnotes. Make sure you have the appropriate footnote number associated with the correct source, double spacing the sources, and remember that any footnote that comes from a source that has been previously cited should be shortened. To insert footnotes, at the end of each sentence that requires a citation, after the period, click on the References tab. From here, click on Insert Footnote. This will insert a superscript number here and a corresponding number at the bottom of the page where you will provide the in-text citation. By using the Insert Footnote function, each footnote will automatically update with the next number. After inserting your footnotes, it's important to know how to list those sources on your bibliography page. In Chicago Manual of Style, a bibliography is a list of all of the sources you have used in your essay. It appears on a separate page at the end of the document. The main components of sources on the bibliography are author, titles, place of publication, publisher, year, page numbers, and URL. Each source may have other components that are necessary. Double-check each source with a Chicago Style guide. When formatting a bibliography page, you must adhere to the following guidelines. The list of sources should be arranged alphabetically by the author's last name, or, if there is no author, by the first word in the title. When arranging the list, ignore, but do not leave out, the, an, or a at the beginning of the title. The bibliography is single-spaced as opposed to the rest of the document. Additionally, there are 2 line breaks between bibliography and the first source. However, there is only a single line break between the remaining entries. After the first line, each entry is indented 1/2 inch. This is called a hanging indent. Each entry presents information in a specific order: the author's name, the title, the publication information, and the publication date. Between the author's last name and first name, there should be a comma. A period will follow the author's first name. After the title of the work, regardless of the source type, you will need to include a period. Punctuation will vary after the title of the work depending on the source, so please review the Chicago Footnotes and Bibliography handout for guidance. Books in a bibliography should follow the following format: author last name, comma, first name, middle initial, period, title of work in italics, end italics, period, publisher, comma, year, period. Articles found in periodicals or peer-reviewed journals follow a similar format, but with additional information, and should follow the following format: author last name, comma, first name, middle initial, period, quote, title of article, period, end quote. Title of journal in italics, end italics, volume number, comma, lowercase no, period, issue number, parenthesis, year published, close parenthesis, colon, page range, period, DOI or URL, period. Online articles from websites should follow the following format: author last name, comma, first name, period, quote, title of article, period, end quote, title of website in italics, end italics, month, day, comma, year published, period, URL, period. Sources that lack an author should follow the following format: quote, title of article, period, end quote, title of website in italics, end italics, month, day, comma, year published, period, URL, period. Here's a sample bibliography. Make sure to title the page Bibliography. Sources should be alphabetized by the author's last name and the title of source. Each source is single-spaced with a double space between each entry. When formatting the bibliography for Chicago, start a new page at the end of the document. On this new page, centered, type Bibliography in regular type. Double space, press Enter twice, then start your bibliography. Each source should be entered single-spaced with an extra space between entries. Each source should have a hanging indent. This can be achieved by highlighting the source and clicking on the box at the lower right of the corner of the Paragraph section of the Home tab, or by right-clicking on the highlighted source. In this new menu, under the Special box, change to Hanging. Another option is to highlight all sources in the bibliography and holding down Control for Windows or Command for Mac, press T. Let's recap what we've covered about Chicago Manual of Style. The document should have a cover page, use 12-point Times New Roman font, be double-spaced, have page numbers in the top right corner of the header, 1-inch margins on all sides, and end with a bibliography. Use section headings as needed. The cover page should include the title of the essay, your name, course name and section number, instructor name, and the due date. Footnotes should be used to signify in-text citations whenever information from an outside source is used. The bibliography should include the full list of sources used within the body of the essay. Each entry should have the author or authors, source, publisher, year of publication, page numbers, and the DOI or URL for online sources. And finally, follow the instructor's directions and preferences. Thank you for watching. We hope you found this video helpful. For more videos on formatting and citation, make sure to check out the other videos on our YouTube channel. We hope to see you in the Writing and Communication Center.